Hey, Gaster. I'm just getting all set up here. There we go. Let's start off with the roulette. How was my day? It's been okay, yeah. I got to play Valheim with a couple of peeps earlier on today. And the new event in Genshin is pretty good. Mana Silver Nugget, high quality, it counts as a greater reward. Am I affected by what? Why do I feel like this is like about to be like what? Oh, right, the storm. Right. I forgot that that's what they decided to call it. No, the storm doesn't seem to have affected where I live, but somewhere nearby is, yeah. Although our neighbor's, like, antenna for their TV service got knocked out off of their wall and into our backyard. I'm doing fine. Someone in the chat, it was like, oh, it's always here. I mean, yes, of course it's always here. That's what happens when you make a series of alliance raids mandatory for the MSQ. That is... Oh, I see. That's 69 bits. For some reason, my alerts thing doesn't play sounds for bit values below a certain amount. I'm not sure if I... Did I set it up that way intentionally, or I can't remember. It's a problem on Twitch. That's what the Law's Order bow looks like. What's better? Hey, IC, how you doing? As you can see, I am in Labyrinth Hell again. Yeah, so the alert appears visually, it just doesn't make a sound effect. Making brunch. School cancelled because of a snowstorm. I can't imagine what that's like. Spinach and feta omelette with a side. Oh, that sounds nice. And that's a nice amount of time off. What would be even worse in real life, Pokemon or Digimon? I'm thinking... Because here's the thing though, even though in terms of like how destructive Digimon is normally shown to be, most of it's not happening on our world, it's happening in theirs. Whereas for Pokemon, all of the shit that happens, even though it's not as dangerous as Digimon, it's happening in our world. Oh, I know. I've just realized I forgot something. I'll have to deal with that after this dungeon. This reminds me of like a mini comic I saw where it's like the genie says you can have 3 wishes and the first thing that the person wishes for is for Pokemon to be real. And the genie immediately turns around and is like, are you sure about this? And he's like, right, go away and have a think about this and then come back, and if you really, really want them to be real, I'll grant it then. So there's like, it time skips to the person coming back, and the genie's like, so have you come to your senses? The person says, you know what, you're right. I want to change my wish. Pokemon and Digimon real. It would be fun, but the whole world will get destroyed. Good. I think we need a great reset. Get the Undertale reset button for you. Just throw a red moon and a big titty dragon at the planet, that'll do. You know what, if I ever got like 3 wishes from a genie, I would like set myself up to get isekai'd. That's what I continue. I'm trying to think of the sort of title that you would see for like isekai anime, like how I would like frame it. Oh. Lol. That's what I get for running through the tornado. Let's see. So, like, what? Let's think of it like an isekai title. I freed a genie and wished to become an immortal wizard on another world. How's that for... How's that for an isekai title? Sounds like a good title. Perfect. Exactly. That's Wish 1 and Wish 2. Wish 1 is another world. Wish 2 is a mortal wizard. Wish 3? Harem of buff boys? Or buff, but you know. Typical. It always happens. It always happens. My mic's not working. I said it always happens. Well, I can see it, yeah. You're gradually clean. Oh, hey, Barrick. Oven roasted alliance, yeah. It's because people are greedy. You're basically asking, Astro, if you could get isekai'd, where would you want to go? Like, if we're talking about existing media, I've thought about this. Because as much as it would be cool to go to places like the world of Pokemon or things like that, there's dangers in those worlds. There's conflicts. Unless you're somehow going to be the protagonist at all times in that world, there's a chance you could die. The one place that or one world that comes immediately to my mind that I'm pretty much 100% sure you are going to be absolutely fine in, and it is pretty idyllic and paradise-like, Animal Crossing. Not a good one if you're afraid of bugs, though. I suppose you've got a point there, but yeah, because you get stuck. Yeah, the most dangerous thing that can happen to you in the Animal Crossing world is getting attacked by wasps and getting your a swollen eye from that, or getting bitten by a spider. Pulls up to Tarantula Island. The Sims. Here's the thing, though. If you're in the Sims universe, you run the risk of having a malicious player controlling you. I'm just saying, there's a good chance you could end up in the swimming pool with no ladders to get out. I'm just saying. Fun. Like, for real, if you were a sim in The Sims, your existence is at the whim of an omnipotent being. Hey, hun. Oh, yes, I just remembered I need to put your remote up on BTTV. I forgot to do it last night. You're on your laptop? Okay. Hello? Better Twitch TV, what the hell are you doing? Emote dashboard, here we go. Save as. Ew. Folder. Save. Upload. Choose file. Invalid image dimensions? Oh, it wants it to be resized. Just a minute. Nope, not that. Edit with... Sorry, I'll get back on track in just a moment. It's okay, and I can resize it pretty easily on my thing too. So they want 112 by 112. Doop. Save as... It's cringe. Uploaded. Okay, it should be available to use. Date night? What? Okay, I'll probably do that later. Okay, hun. You killed not lucking? Why is that good news? Good for you. Oh, right, I need to reset the things. Reload chat. Wait, how do I reload it? Refresh. Here we go, that should do it. And then I'll need to refresh the cache on the chat log too. Chat box, where are you? Alert box, chat box, properties. Refresh cache of current page. Okay. And the reset button? Yeah. Whoa, what the heck just happened to my chat? I don't think it's showing up on my end yet, unfortunately, but I guess it'll show up eventually. Test for what? I can see it in the chat box, though, on the stream, but it's not showing up in stream chat yet. Okay, I've just refreshed it and now it's showing up in stream chat too. Excellent. Progress has been made. There we go. Look at your new emote. What? He looks so confused. Wow. Very rainbow. Much wow. Hatsune Miku. Large, huge, big. But imagine I get like... Okay, I was expecting Vanaspati, but this is also fine, I guess. Oh, right. Yeah, if he doesn't have BTTV. I was a bit too greedy there. Oh, come on. I am really, like, losing attention right now. God damn. At least I didn't die. Okay, Gaster. You forgot about the live letter? I'm sad that I can't watch it because of the fact that I'm working tomorrow. So I have to sleep through it. Praying for new info on the Hotha hairstyle. Yes. I want to see screenshots. Like, if they do actually post images of Hrothgar hairstyles, I want someone to take screenshots and send them to me. That too. You don't download Twitch on your laptop. You just go to the website. What you need to download or add to your browser is the Better Twitch TV extension. So how's the weather? Apocalypse. You hate it so much that everyone just stands there. It's like the Mass Effect elevators. Excuse me. It's just better Twitch TV. Rage for updates on Dark Knight. Yeah, that would be good. Probably shouldn't have accepted that raise. Jazz hands. Right. If I do expert roulette, then I would be capped on tomes for the week, so... And yes, level up. This is how my class progression is going right now.
Once upon a time, there was a beautiful blue star
Here it is again.
that fell to pestilence and rotted inside and out. The more its people clung to life, the more it suffered.
The house is cleaner than it has been in a long time. That's good. Dude, get out of the poison.
Until they curse not the illness,
Yes, you let them die, yeah.
Those who lived manifested. Those who died hated.
Yes, I'm a healer, but... Perfect use of rescue.
And the very last of them wished they had never been born at all. In a faraway place, a brilliant star eradicated disease. Before destroying the self-same lives it had saved.
Done cooking? Nice.
Its people sought ever greater freedoms no matter the cost.
Ow.
They tried to release the fire and steel. none remembered life's trials or its joys. What is people had gained for ease? They lost apathy. So they created the kindest, most gentle of beasts. Its steps were light, and its sleep was as painless as it was beautiful. Bathed in its golden glow, they all slept happily ever after.
Vibin'. Oh dear, I might die. Ooh. Okay, hold on, Zoe. There we go. Are you for real? There we go. It. Right, roll quest time. Do mine eyes deceive me? Master Emil, oh thank the Kami. Lord Hien has requested assistance in the resolution of a most urgent matter, the hunt for a fell beast believed to be a blasphemy. Though we have made great strides in ensuring the safety of our people, we fear even our finest shinobi will be no match for this enemy, for it commands the skies of Doma. I see, take care. But as your talent for striking down foes at a distance is beyond compare, I can think of no one better to aid us in overcoming this adversary. To be my pleasure. Hey, Allie. Oh, Kami be praised. I shall inform Lady Yugiri that she may receive you at the Doman Enclave. Safe travels, Master Emil. Yugiri! It's been like forever. It is good to see you, Emil. When we received word that you of all people had answered our call, I could scarcely believe it. Yet here you are. Lord Hien will be pleased for this reunion. If you would wait here a moment. Have I seen the Ayato leaks? Yes, I have. I won't be talking about them on stream, though, because I don't want to get bopped. Well, well, that the Kami should guide your steps to our door once more, and with such fortuitous timing. Pray forgive me for not affording you a hero's welcome, but time is not on our side. Not long after receiving word of men transforming into hideous beasts in Thavnir, a similar creature was born of a woman in Isari. After attacking another villager, it took to the skies and fled, though to where we know not. An all too cruel twist of fate, for the one slain was among the prisoners returned to us in that deplorable exchange with Asahi and the Empire, just when they had at last begun to piece their life back together. Blasphemy must be stopped. Alas, our foe is wont to keep to the skies, well beyond the reach of our samurai and shinobi. Friendship ended with Fox wet twink is now your friend. Thus did we seek the aid of those proficient in ranged combat, able to pluck the beast from the heavens. Yep, he's back. Of course, martial prowess alone will not solve our problems. Others have turned into weaker but no less gruesome abominations, as was the case in Thavnair, and their numbers increased by the day. From what I understand, this phenomenon is not unlike a sickness which spreads by feeding on fear and anxiety, emotions which of late can be found in abundance. Slaying the beasts means nothing if the people's hearts cannot be put at ease. Lord Hien. You have to help. The villagers, they... Sir, please, calm yourself. Tell us what happened. Another has been turned in Namai, my lord. For a blessing, no one was harmed when the beast flew into a rage, but the people are in a panic. I fear what may happen next. It would seem we have even less time than I thought. Worry not, we will see to the beast. As of yet, there is no cure for this affliction, but we will save what lives we can, I promise you. I trust you are ready to join the fray? It was last seen near the glittering basin. Come, I shall show you. Panic. I have been visited by a bean. It's Ollie. The beast was right here, I swear it. I thank you for leading us here, but it's not safe. Please, return to your village. Oh, happy? Yeah. We should split up if we are to have any chance of finding it, Emil. Would you see to the west? I will search in the north. Yugiri, I will leave the east to you. If you find it, remember, these blasphemies are no longer people. They will not hesitate to strike you down, so you mustn't either. Now let us not waste any more time. You know, after seeing everything that we've seen over the course of this game, we're going to need a hell of a lot of therapy. Like Dr. Phil, yeah. Wait. You do not get to tell me what ring I use or don't use, game. I made that ring. I damn well am gonna use it. Scrubbing the grub off the tub is a tough road. Oh my god, Beck. Well, it's good that it's all clean. Are you alright? We heard shouting and came as fast as we could. It would appear Emil arrived not a moment too soon. You know those emoji you said I couldn't use on iPad? Can use it. Oh, you can use them on the iPad? Oh, cool. Why? Why did you kill my brother? He doesn't understand. Your brother? Young man, that creature was not your kin. Not anymore. Had he not laid it to rest, it would have killed you and countless others. But if your heart cries out for one to blame, let it be me. The beast was slain at my behest, for it was the only way. No, no, you're wrong. You killed him, murdered him. I hate you. Oh my god. The kid doesn't understand. Issei? What are you doing here? Searching for Tombo, though you clearly found him first. The monster was his older brother, as you may have guessed, and Tombo gave chase the moment it ran off. I beg you forgive him for his outburst. His brother was all he had left. Their father was conscripted by the Empire and was, regrettably, not among those returned to us in the recent exchange of prisoners. The hope they might one day be reunited was their only comfort when the Viceroy still ruled. I can only imagine how they felt when she walked into Isari, a shadow of her former self. Just kill it. Wow. Nothing of value will be lost. Holy shit. Tsuyu may have had no memories of the monster she was, but her victims still see her in their dreams. Nevertheless, like many, the brothers prayed your mercy would see their family restored. But then they learned of her death, and of their father's absence. Deprived of hope and of hate all at once, they had nothing. My apologies for rambling. No, no, it was a rather enlightening tale. I spared the woman who brought him pain, and took the brother who brought him comfort. I would hate me too. I swear I will set things right for Tombo, for all the people of Doma. Please, return home, Issei, and be safe. Killing the child is not going to make things better. Let us return to the Doman Enclave. This ordeal has given me much to consider. You have Raskus emotes. Oh yeah, the guy with the big Turian lad. Oh, I need to go back to the Enclave. I owe you a great debt for your timely assistance, and an apology, for I've made you an executioner in young Tombo's eyes. Would that I had been the one he witnessed cut down the beast his brother had become. But we haven't time to dwell on regrets and what should have been. No, we need to take action, and after hearing of Tombo and his brother, I believe I know what must be done. A great many of our brothers and sisters were returned to us in the prisoner exchange, but even so, there are those who yet remain lost to us. Meanwhile, Yotsu, who was directly responsible for much of our people's suffering, was never held to account for her crimes. In death, she claimed a vengeance for her suffering at the hands of her brother, but it came at the expense of justice for her countless victims. The people of Doma have every right to resent me for failing them in their grief. But what of those who cannot bring themselves to do even that? Who are left alone with their anger and their pain? It may well give way to despair, and then they would share the same fate as Tombo's brother, yes. Apparently, I just got a warning about the encoder being overloaded. What are you talking about? OBS. Which is why we must needs consider who else might share in his anguish, ere we find ourselves beset by more beasts. I will begin making rounds of the villages to inquire after those whom their neighbors believe are more distressed of late. Very good, and I and the other shinobi shall continue our search for the blasphemy which set these events in motion. And you, my friend, we will have need of your talents again ere long. Rest assured, we will keep you apprised of our findings. Ah, Emil, we have yet to ascertain the whereabouts of the blasphemy from Isari, but for a blessing, we have received no reports of others that have turned. Lord Hien, for his part, has made a concerted effort to go about the villages and converse with his subjects directly. I suspect his constant presence has served to allay the people's fears. As one might expect, he has ever been dedicated and diligent, but I fear he has been away over long. I thought to go and visit what should have been his last destination, Hisari. Might I ask you to accompany me? Helio? Sorry, I'm not familiar with them. Thank you. I am sure there is no cause for concern, but nevertheless, I should be glad to find him quickly. How about me? My favorite streamer? Well, it's obviously gonna be Young. But abiding by your rules about excluding each other, I would say it's gonna be Shen. Do a corporation? You guys have to do a corporation? What? We have to do a capitalism. A money steal, huh? Emil, Yugiri, I apologize if I gave you cause for concern. Assessing the state of affairs here in Isari has proven difficult. To put it simply, the people, one and all, refuse to speak with me. They simply bow their heads and turn away at my approach. Knowing the blasphemy originated here, I cannot help but wonder if that has aught to do with their silence. Perhaps you could attempt to engage with the people in my stead? Surely they have no cause to deny the two of you. I should hope not. Nevertheless, I will don a disguise, lest I draw undue attention. Come, Emil, let's see what we can discover. Thank you, both of you. Food is on the way. Ooh, what are you having? Oh, you mean like a collab stream? Well, I guess we kind of already do that sort of thing when we play together, so... And we have tried streaming together, like, at the same time in the past. It doesn't really work very well with Twitch if you're not partnered, because squad streaming is only for partners. I owe a great debt to Lord Hien. If not for him, I would still be fighting under the Imperial standard. But the village suffered dearly under the occupation. What's more, our lord failed to punish the Viceroy for our crimes, and failed to reunite many with their loved ones. I understand why some would think poorly of him, even if I do not. Altars? Nice. A blasphemy? You are mistaken, my friend. Our village was visited not by a monster, but a kami, Izanami. Where Lord Hien is cold and callous, she offers us boundless compassion and love. Oh dear, that's why. We would love to stream together a game with a story that doesn't necessarily have us both playing at the same time. Like what? Oh, you mean like, one of us is playing and the other is just in the stream, like, sort of thing. Kind of like what, Barrack and Top Hat do. Aye, that's right. The blasphemy was born of a young woman here in Isari. Tragic, really. Every day she prayed for the safe return of her husband, but it was not to be. If I am to be honest, I fear the loss drove her poor stepmother mad. Kize has ever been a devout believer in the kami and their blessings, but she somehow convinced herself that Minato has become one. The delusions of a grieving parent, obviously, but an alarming number of people have come to share in her belief. Heresy is what it is. Tokyo High School Summoners? Yes, I have heard of it. Because it's a gacha game, I'm not very... And, well... Even the fact that it's a gacha game isn't the primary reason why I'm not interested. The fact that it is... I've seen gameplay of it and it just doesn't look very interesting. Like, most gacha games on the market just aren't my thing from a gameplay perspective. I just don't find them very compelling to play. That's kind of why Genshin has been my first gacha game experience, because it's the first one that's had gameplay that's actually to my tastes. How about yeah, I've seen that one, but again, not to my taste. I don't like those styles of games. I see. Little wonder they would refuse to confide in me. The belief held by some that this blasphemy is a kami, however, is quite concerning. Izanami presides over life and death. She gave birth to the nation of Doma, and ushers souls of the departed unto the land of the dead. I trust you understand that it would mean to deny them a source of hope in such dark times, even one such as this. The villagers also claim this Kisei can speak with the dead. In fact, she will be holding a gathering to demonstrate her powers ere long. The perfect opportunity to gauge the extent of their fanaticism. Not for me, of course. My presence would draw undue attention. Might I ask you both to attend in my stead? Her followers will be gathering in the tavern. Come. O spirits of Izari, I beseech you, lend me your voice and let your presence be known. Cross this veil and be among us once more. Akitsu. Father? Still tending the nets, like I taught you? Yes, father, every day. And thanks to you, we never want for fish. Our bellies are never empty. Some of the character designs are cool, yeah. Yeah. That's the best thing about like Huzumo is literally just the character art, and you don't need to play the game for that. Honestly, it's like that style of gacha game where it's just like you're rolling for fancy JPEGs feels like it's not much better than NFTs. I am proud to be your son. I was always too embarrassed to tell you before, but... And I am proud to have been your father. May you ever be blessed by the sea's bounty. It hurts. Father, what's wrong? Pain, my child. Those who have cheated death's design yet live. It has disrupted the natural order and the spirits suffer for it. What must we do to ease their pain? Fear not. Izanami shall be put all to rights. She will claim the souls not long for this world and deliver them unto the hereafter. When her work is finished, your father's spirit and all the others will find peace. I think she's just faking it. Can you find my father? Can you help me speak with him? Say, could you come in with my husband? What about my family? Help me, Kizay, please. I'm pretty sure she's faking it. So is Kize's ability all she claims? A young man spoke with his dearly departed father through her? I find that rather hard to believe. Even so, those in attendance appeared quite convinced, my lord. And I suspect a great many of the villagers I've spoken with recently are as well. Everywhere I went, the people were in so much pain, and there was nothing I could do or say to give them solace. Yet for all their anguish, there has not been a single report of villagers turning since the incident with Tombo's brother. Which can only mean word of Kize and her ability to speak with the deceased has spread. The belief we can commune with our loved ones in death is a comfort far beyond my power to provide. Though I fail to see how the people would abide the kami claiming innocent lives to restore order. She comes! Izanami! The blasphemy? Here? Lord Hien, the kami, she appeared as if from nowhere, and in the next instant this poor man was... So we were too late. Wasn't this one of the ones we talked to? She's targeting the ones who were returned from Garlemald. You recognize him then? Curious that he and the blasphemy's first victim were former conscripts. What could the fiend be after, I wonder? It does not become my lord to speak ill of the kami. I understand you are come to investigate the rumors of a monster born in our village. A blasphemy, you called it, but you are sorely mistaken. My stepdaughter, Minato, was chosen to serve as a vessel for Izanami. I witnessed her ascension with my own eyes. And here's the echo coming to give us the context we need. Minato, please! I can't. I won't. There's no logic in it. No justice. The Witch of Doma spared, given a second chance, and my husband condemned to die as a conscript. I'll never know what became of him. Lord Hien can't even give me that. And when I look at the families he made whole, at their happiness, I feel the hole in my heart, the gaping wound that will never heal, begin to bleed. Only at my beloved's side will I find peace. You mustn't lose faith, Minato. All will be well. Trust in the kami, in Izanami. I want to believe, but... Izanami has come to bring peace to the souls of the departed, to restore balance between their world and ours. Surely you would not dare defy the will of the kami. This balance you speak of has claimed the lives of 2 innocents but recently returned to us. I will not accept that the kami would condone such cruelty. No crueler than the sight of Yotsuyu free and forgiven, while my husband and son fought Garlemald's wars, now dead and forgotten in a forgotten land. With all due respect, Lord Hien, is it not your duty to protect Doma and our people? How are we to place our faith in the man who places the enemy's safety and well-being above that of his own subjects? Only the kami are deserving of our adoration, as they have always been. This basically the blasphemy seems to be fueled by spite. It feels like her last thoughts were, if I can't have my husband, no one else can have their family. The villagers are no doubt loath to ask of me, but preparations must be made for burials and funeral rites. I can offer that much at least. You seem distracted during our conversation with Kize. Is something the matter? The old lady needs to die. I suspect that she's going to get her comeuppance later on. If what happened in a previous storyline is any indication, she's going to get killed by the blasphemy at some point. The echo, and the blasphemy was indeed born of her stepdaughter. To bear witness to such horror, how her mind must have struggled to comprehend what she saw. And as a woman of faith, perhaps her only surviving family becoming one with the divine was the only reality with which she could come to terms. I believe I know now what must be done, but I pray her fervor does not drive her to oppose us. Come, let's return to the Enclave. You won't see it as punishment, rather the way the kami have decided it. Yeah. Feels like that's the problem when you're dealing with someone whose belief is so fanatical. It's incredibly difficult to actually reach through and get them to see that what they're doing is wrong. Religion is bad. From what you told me of your vision, the nature of Minato's despair, as well as the focus of her ire, is clear. 'Tis plain she was a good-natured and kind-hearted woman, grieving for the loss of her husband. This loss alone may not have been enough to turn her, but my failure to hold Yotsuyu to account, together with the sight of other families reunited, compounded the turmoil in her broken heart. A path to despair paved by my good intentions, a truth that will weigh heavy on my conscience until my dying day. Minato was prepared to die in sadness rather than live in hatred. If she could see the beast she has become, she would implore us to stop her. Which is why we must find the others who return to us in the prisoner exchange before they come to harm. Once their safety is assured, we may hunt down the blasphemy and bring a close to this tragedy. Ah, Emil, if you are come to ask after the blasphemy, I have naught to share. As of yet, our shinobi have seen no sight of the beast. The returnees, however, are all accounted for, and Lord Hien has seen them safely to the Kiankan. As such, he is presently assisting with the hunt. For a blessing, there have been no reports of other villagers turning, and yet... Before the situation takes a turn for the worst, there is a matter I feel warrants further investigation. Kizei. Though a villager of Isari, I suspect she may in fact hail from my home, Sui no Sato. Knowing they would be loath to answer my inquiries, I entreated the Kojin to contact Sui no Sato in my stead. To hear tell of it, Princess Kurenai has made great strides in establishing stronger ties with the outside world. At mention of Kizei, however, their cordial warmth turned strangely cold. If we are to learn more, I fear we have little choice but to go and speak with the people of Sui no Sato ourselves. A simple visit for you, I imagine, but my banishment complicates matters. That said, it has been many years since I left home. Were I to disguise myself, I might well go unnoticed in your company. If you are willing to take the risk? Thank you. Let us make for Onokoro then. Oh my god. He has a twerking emote. I recognize this outfit. The garments I wore when we first met. Sufficient, I think, to conceal my identity. How many years has it been since I last saw home? I am a shinobi of Doma, hi. But even as a child I sought to ensure the safety and survival of Sui no Sato. I was quite bold in those days, if not a touch reckless, and together with the other children I often ventured beyond the borders of home. We yearned for adventure, and so one day we sought to behold the wonders of Doma. Imagine our horror to discover a city of ruin and ash, imperial soldiers marching through the streets. We fled at the sight, but in my haste I lost my way in the bamboo groves. It was there I first met a young man named Shun, a sweaty mess as he swung his wooden sword with reckless abandon, training to fulfill his duty as a samurai, he said. Having seen the destruction of which the Empire was capable, I too felt the need to protect my home. I joined him in his exercises, and every day my resolve to protect those I love grew. Sadly, my elders refused to listen. They were content to remain hidden beneath the waves, and hopefully the Empire's notice. With a heavy heart, I left in search of the strength I believed we sorely needed, and I found it as a shinobi. But the people feared war and conflict would follow on my heels should I return. I do not begrudge them their decision, nor do I regret mine own. Part of me is overjoyed at the thought of seeing home again, openly defying the wishes of the Ruby Princess. However, would bode ill for my family, and they have suffered enough for my transgressions. That is why, for their sake, I would remain naught but a faceless shinobi at your employ. Give her a super traumatic backstory that will absolve her of all guilt. Thank you. With that in mind, let us make for Suino Sato. It's a complex thing, because yes, she's in the wrong because she's manipulating this blasphemy to essentially commit revenge against people who are completely innocent. But at the same time, you can understand that she is bitterly hateful of the fact that because of Hien, she lost her daughter. Years, yet naught appears to have changed since the day I left. But now is not the time to reminisce. We have work to do. Kisei's departure from Suino Sato was likely decades ago. Perhaps the village elders will know why she chose to leave. Yugiri is accompanying me. Kisei? The name sounds familiar, and yet... Apologies, friend, my memory is not what it once was. Let us seek out another. Pet the small Yugiri. Mana. Mana. Is there anything up here? I would just go on a mount, but I think that would cause Yugiri to start following me. Nope, there is no one up here. I shouldn't have bothered. Okay, I see someone down there that I can talk to, so I can go down. You have both Peloton and Sprint. I know. I keep forgetting. Cheerful Elder. My, it has been quite some time since I last heard that name. She was a priestess of the village, banished after drawing the ire of the former Ruby Princess. What has become of her after all these years, I wonder? Please, is there anything else you can tell us? Unagi was quite close with her, if memory serves. Perhaps you should seek her out. Mother. I had hoped to avoid my parents, but if there is no other way... Emil, might I ask you to take the lead? Oh, this is going to be awkward, isn't it? 'Tis good to see you again. To what do we owe the honor of your visit? Yes, we were close, but that was a long, long time ago. Still, if I can be assistance to the man to whom we owe so much, I will share all I know. Kisei was born to a family of priests, and even at an early age she was possessed of extraordinary abilities. Much was expected of her, but everything changed the day she said she could speak with the dead. No one believed her at first, but she continued to insist she could, and strove to prove it by demonstrating knowledge well beyond her years. Knowledge of events to which she could not have been privy. Words of her talents eventually reached the Ruby Princess, and she was summoned to Shisui of the Violet Tides for a private audience. No one knows what Kisei said to her in the palace. only that the princess was incandescent with rage and ordered her exile forthwith. They're a bit creepy when they get old. Wow, okay. Some believe Kisei revealed a terrible secret of the royal house, or perhaps spoke a blatant falsehood that proved her a liar. Indeed, the knowledge she claimed to divine from the dead was not always truthful. But who is to say the dead would know the truth, or not seek to deceive? Thus could we never be certain if it was simply a fantasy, or a power divine. The one thing that is certain is that no small number of people found comfort in her words. Would that I could tell you more, but sadly I have not seen or spoken with Kisei since her banishment. It sounds like she's one of those scammer mediums things. So maybe the idea here is that if we prove that she's lying, that will get everyone else on side. I don't know. Forgive me, but have we met your companion before? She looks familiar. I believe this is the first time our humble shinobi has visited Suino Sato. Is that so? For the briefest of moments, you reminded me of someone quite dear to my heart. Being a shinobi, I presume you have heard tales of Yugiri Mistwalker. Should you chance to meet her, may I ask you to deliver her a message? Tell her that her mother and father love her, and that we could not be more proud of her. He looks like a Karen. I will. I have no doubts she feels the same, and not a day goes by without you in her thoughts. I believe we have heard enough. Shall we return to Onokoro? I'm sure the mom knew. Of course she does. Of course she does. Mother's intuition never fails. My apologies for placing you in so peculiar a situation. Though I must confess, it did my heart good to see Mother and Father well. All the more reason I must do all I can to keep the peace, as a shinobi of Doma, no, as a member of the Eastern Alliance. Mayhap there will come a day when Suino Sato opens to the world, a day when Yugiri Mistwalker can be reunited with her mother and father. Would that Lord Hien could be afforded the same opportunity. But Lord Kyan and Lady Mina have long since passed, two of too many lives lost in the Imperial occupation. I cannot imagine he would ever succumb to despair. But make no mistake, Lord Hien knows the pain of his people all too well. I can see it in his eyes, and if I may be honest, it troubles me at times. But perhaps I have said too much. Come, we mustn't keep him waiting. Welcome back. I trust your journey proved an enlightening one. So she does in fact hail from Suino Sato, and you say she has possessed these divine gifts since childhood? Genuine or no, the people believe her, and more flock to her side with every passing day. But the returnees are safe at the Akienkan, its defense is bolstered. As for the blasphemy, I've spoken with our Confederate allies, among others, and together we will establish a network of contacts across the length and breadth of Doma to keep up the search in earnest. Mark my words, we will find it. Sorry, Gaster, I don't understand the question. You've arrived not a moment too soon. The blasphemy has been sighted on the coast. For a mercy, there are no reported casualties as of yet. Just the man I was hoping to see. No sooner had we cast wide our net than a Confederate messenger was at our door. If you would join us, Rasha awaits our arrival at Onokoro. Well now, that the noble lord of Doma should come in person once again. Mayhap these blasphemies truly are a threat. Indeed they are, and I was told you and yours sighted our quarry quite recently. Aye, that we did. Near the islands of Shoal Rock. The beast appeared to be docile by all accounts, but appearances can be deceiving. If it is as you say, then this blasphemy has eyes only for former conscripts, then we have naught to fear. I trust those we accepted into our care are still in yours. Was at the Kiankan, enjoying the finest dome and hospitality. Anyway, I know not why it came to the Ruby Sea, nor why it remains idle, but if we act quickly, there is a chance we can take it unawares. I propose we divide our forces. If you're willing to go ashore, we'll take a ship and circle about the islands. The first to find it will have the honor of the kill. I'm not sure what I would do, to be honest, because I have a lot of characters. a simple enough plan. Shall we be off to Shoal Rock then? Obviously, this is going to go horribly, horribly wrong. Who's going to die? This is where the blasphemy was last sighted. If the fates are kind, this will all be over soon. I'm not sure. Yeah, so... Oh, there it is. Damn! Such speed. I doubt even my falcons could keep pace with it. Don't tell me the blasphemy's flying off into the distance. I hoped the ill will it bore me in life might compel the beast to stay and fight. Perhaps less of Minato remains than I thought. Minato? That monstrosity was Minato? You knew her? Her family tried to flee to Hingashi during the occupation, but their ship was raided and sunk. When we happened upon the wreckage, she was huddled between her parents on a piece of flotsam, desperate to keep warm, but they had long since grown cold. We took her to Onokoro, where we nursed her back to health. Couldn't imagine what horrors she must have witnessed. The mere sight of our weapons was enough to make her start screaming. She was clearly unfit for our trade, so we sought out a village so that might take her in. Sorry, was that village? Adopted. Several months later, I chanced to meet her on this very beach. She was in the company of a young Ori fisherman, and I knew at once she had found more than a home there. I saw them here many times after that. She found something comforting about this place, I think. According to the reports from Radza-Han, the memories and desires of those who turn can influence their behavior as blasphemies. Then perhaps Minato's memories are what compelled the beast to come here. That would also explain its timid nature. Minato was never one for violence, and the sight of you, blade drawn, no doubt stirred what little of the woman remains in the monster. If that is the case, then assault on the Kyenkan is unlikely, guarded as it is by our samurai. But how are we to fight an enemy so quick to flee at the first sign of danger? Robbed of her parents, her husband, and now her life. I would rather we didn't have to at all. But I understand full well the risk we take by doing nothing. If we catch sight of the blasphemy again, you'll be the first to know. Perhaps next time we can put our soul to rest. So now we know a bit more about her behavior. There is naught to do now but bide our time. Come, let us return to the Enclave. That puts us at the 88 quest done, so we now only have the 89 and 90 quests to do. Making good progress, actually. Making good time. Given what we have learned, it seems likely that the blasphemy will return to the Shoal Rock, but that knowledge will avail us naught if we cannot prevent it from escaping again. Lord Hien, on behalf of the people of Isari, we are come with a request. We welcome you with open arms and open hearts. What is it that you would ask of me? Those returned to us in the prisoner exchange have been granted shelter at the Kyenkan. They that yet live is an affront to the Kami's grand design, and the spirits of our loved ones suffer for it. Balance must needs be restored, and so I beseech you to render them unto the goddess Izanami. No way. Yeah, this is my last ones. Absolutely not. 'Tis not our place to pray for the deaths of others, nor draw steel to sate mere bloodlust. When I take a life, be it by command or by my own hand, I do so not in service to vengeance, but to uphold my duty to Doma and her people. How did your mercy for Yotsu serve your duty? How are your people made better by the sight of her walking free? For her crimes and her cruelty, I cut her down the day we took Doma Castle. I sought to kill her, and by right she should have died then and there. But the Kami willed otherwise, and returned her to us alive and bereft of her memories. With no recollection of her deeds, it would have been Tsuyu who faced punishment, not Yotsuyu. It was my judgment, and for you were denied the justice you deserved. You have every right to resent me. But you come before me and ask that I sacrifice men and women whose only crime was to suffer, to be condemned to a life of servitude. If you truly believe your cause to be sacrosanct, believe yourselves fit to bear the burden and swing the sword, then step forward. Sophistry and lies, they were meant to die. Their spirits demand it. Are these the words of the dead, or the living who yet mourn? Oh my god. Here he is! Here he is! Here he is! It's him! He's back! He's finally back! He's bald! Word of the Isari priestess and her gifts has spread far and wide, and I thought to see the truth of it myself. By coincidence, I crossed paths with a traveller hailing from the selfsame village, who had a mind to return as well, but alas could not, and so he bid me deliver a missive in his stead. Judging by the striking resemblance, I take it you are the young fisher Akitsu. This is a letter from my father. He was severely wounded in battle, but expects to make a full recovery. He's alive, but that would mean... She's just been outed. She's just been outed. Surely a woman of your talents can divine a plausible explanation for this turn of events. She's just been cancelled. Shall pay for this contumely. My daughter will make certain of that. Gosetsu just came back after being absent for a very long time to cancel that woman. Love it. Apologies for the abrupt and otherwise unannounced arrival. As you can see, my lord Hien, I am returned. Full glad I am for it. Thanks to your timely arrival, we have given the lie to Kizei's claims of preternatural powers. I gather you are apprised of recent events? Aye. It did not take long to learn of the state of affairs here in Doma, and that my assistance may be required. I had heard tales of Kizei channeling the dead, including the father of one young fisherman. Imagine my surprise when I saw this spirit in the flesh. He was also on a pilgrimage, paying respects to the departed, and we chanced to meet in the Liberation Front infirmary. Would that we were not brought back together under such circumstances, but I am glad to see you all hale and hearty. See you again, Emil. Pet. The last time he saw me, I was a potato. Tombo, is something the matter? I wish to apologize, Lord Hien. It was wrong of me to say the things I said. I understand nothing can bring back my father, but I was so angry Please, Tombo, you needn't apologize. It's just, my brother was always so brave, but father's death was more than he could bear, and it turned him into that monster. If he wasn't brave enough, what chance do I have? We wanted to perform the rites for father, but the body was never returned to us, so... Not that I blame you for that, Lord Hien. I understand nothing could be done. That Akitsu's father survived is nothing short of a miracle, but I fear he is indeed the rare exception. I have offered prayers at more graves than I can count. It would be cruel to give others the false hope that their loved ones might return. And yet Kize continues to do just that, offering comfort with her lies. A tempting but ephemeral balm for the wounds that have yet to heal. Much like the anger some harbor for you, or resentment for the families restored, while theirs remain broken. Respect for the child slightly increased. But for those like that boy whose hearts lack for hatred, who know only sadness and despair, aye, they too may turn. Exposing the truth of Kize's deception hasn't helped matters. If we are to prevent more suffering, we must pursue a lasting solution. I would be most grateful for your counsel, Gosetsu. There is much I could learn from your pilgrimage. If there is aught you require, but say the word and it shall be done. It is the least I can do for the part I played in Yotsu's tragedy. I failed her in the end, but I will not fail you, my lord. Thank you again for your aid, Emil. The day's events have given me much to consider. When our next step is decided, you will be the first to know. Please get him a wig. Barrick's still here, because he was actually asking that at one point, didn't he? Like, where is Gosetsu? Regrettably, there has been no sightings of the blasphemy since our first encounter at Shoal Rock. As Tansui surmised, it seems to fear confrontation. We, for our part, have tried to make good use of this intervening calm. Even now, Lord Hien and Gosetsu decide how we might prevent other villagers from turning. If you would wait here a moment, he would no doubt wish to hear your thoughts on the matter. Good to see him again, yeah. Emil, so glad you could come. As Yuguri no doubt explained, the blasphemy continues to elude us, and so we have turned our attention to other matters that we can and should address. After long discussions and much deliberation, we believe we have found a means to allay the growing malaise of our people. If you would, Gosetsu? Alright, hun. The idea came to us after considering young Tombo's remarks about his father, whose body was never found and returned to Doma. Others no doubt share in his melancholy, unable to bury and mourn their loved ones as is their right. Simply put, they cannot make peace with their loss. Their anguish, if left to linger, may consume them as well. That we might provide the people of Doma with comfort and closure, We will hold a national funeral at the Swallow's Compass. To those who choose to attend will be asked to present personal effects of the deceased they wish to be enshrined there. Spirits reside in all things, be they living or inanimate, and though we may die, a part of us lives on in the items we cherish most in life. Therefore, in lieu of remains, these belongings will be afforded a place in the royal mausoleum, that the spirits of those lost to us may find their way home to Doma, and at last, know peace. The announcement has already been made, and a great many people are now engaged in the difficult task of deciding which keepsake will serve as their offering. It is not a decision to be made lightly, but I suspect they will have made up their minds by the time we go to collect their chosen tokens. I also hope to learn more about the departed from those willing to speak with me, for my benefit and for theirs. To break free of their sorrow, they must seek joy in the memories and the love they shared with the departed, and I will help them find it. Might the Liberator of Doma be willing to favor the people with his presence as well? I doubt not that they will appreciate the gesture. Good. Yugiri, I leave the people of Isar to you. Gosetsu, might I ask you to... Apologies, my lord, but there is a small but most urgent matter I must first tend to. Very well, I shall not pry. Now, Emil, let us go and pay a visit to the good people of Namai. Right then, before we begin, I would remind you that you need only listen to the tales of their loved ones. As overseer of the ceremony, I see it as my duty to deliver their effects personally. Because of this, it is of the utmost importance that we keep clear of any beasts that might damage our cargo. It goes without saying how important that it is that their offerings are delivered in pristine condition, and I will be no good to you in a fight while heavily encumbered. If stealth or flight are not options, I must ask you to fight for us both. But we needn't worry unless the occasion arises. Now let us be off. Ian is now accompanying me. My husband, my dear sweet Maroya, never returned from Garlemald, but perhaps now his soul might know peace. Please, take this painting brush to the Swallow's Compass. Shall handle it with the utmost care. Might we trouble you to tell us more about your husband? Maroya was a kind and gentle soul, and there was nothing he loved more in the world than to create. That brush never left his side, not even when he tended the fields. Any spare moment was dedicated to his craft, and he produced the most wonderful vistas of Yangsha. It was his dream to take us to Kugane, where he would become a famous artist, until he was conscripted. In the early days, he would send drawings of the places they took him, though I know not how, but more time began to pass between each arrival, and then they stopped coming altogether. I know not in what far-flung land he died, but I pray it was as beautiful as his works. He sounds like quite a man, to hold fast to his art even when forced to endure such hardship. His soul will find peace, of that I have no doubt. I must thank you again, Lord Hien, for this honor. My son would have been overjoyed to know that his katana would be enshrined at the Swallow's compass. Nay, the honor is mine. I'm sure your son was a fine warrior. Aye, and so was I once upon a time. A samurai, as it happens, in service to your father when the Empire first invaded our lands. Though we were defeated, our spirits broken, my son Motosu was never one to lose hope. He was determined to follow in my footsteps, give his everything to honing his skill with the blade. When I watched him train, I felt the pride I thought I'd forsaken swell in my breast, and I knew he would restore our family to its former glory. Alas. He could have fled, perhaps started life anew as a vagabond of some sort, but he bore the burden and fought for Garlemald, for fear of what the Imperials might do if he did not. Tis plain he was a loving son and a warrior true. I will care for his blade as if it were mine own, and I will see it given the honor and respect due a samurai of Doma. Tombo. I realize it's quite large, but I wanted to offer this on behalf of my brother and our father, Suzushiro. You like the stories? It makes little sense. If you are willing, I would very much like to hear more about them both. My father, he was a carpenter. He was a good man, if a bit stubborn, always thinking about his work. The only time he ever seemed to enjoy himself was when he had a cup of sake in his hand. But when my brother came of age, he took up the trade as well. It brought them closer. I'd see them laughing over drinks together, or listening in silence to the crickets singing under the moonlight. I wanted to join them one day. This was their favorite sake. I thought they might miss it. I'm sure it will taste all the sweeter having come from you. I realize no one can ever replace your brother or father, but if you will allow, I would be honored to share drinks with you in their stead. When you are of age, of course. This should be everything. Would you join me for a short reprieve before our journey back? They put on brave faces, but the people of Namai are still racked with grief. It is the same at every village I have visited in recent days, but it is only now that I am struck by the contradictory nature of my goals. Having joined the Eastern Alliance and taken steps to revitalize the Enclave, I believe Doma was at last on a path to peace and prosperity. I still do. Yet, by focusing so keenly on the future, I have neglected the past that yet haunts my people. Even if they do not give in to despair and become beasts that plague our lands like poor Tombo's brother, how are we to truly move forward if we are constantly looking back? You speak of their haunted pasts, Lord Hien, but what of yours? Me? Ugh, of all things considered, I suppose it was only a matter of time before the subject was broached. Ha! He cuts to the heart of the matter, and the young lord. For the best, I should think, for he cannot be lead by example if he has not yet made peace with his own past. There he is. 1,000 apologies, my lord. I was passing through, tending to the matters of which I spoke earlier, when I chanced to hear familiar voices in the distance. If I may be so bold, the people of Doma one and all understand the source of your pain. To lose your father in the turmoil of a failed rebellion, his staggering duty to the throne thrust upon you. Aye, how could you even begin to mourn when first you had to lead? It would behoove you to take part in the funeral rites, my lord. Take this time to make peace with your past while it is still yours to spend. Though unlikely, if not impossible, were you to become a monster as well, Doma would surely be lost. I thank you for your counsel, Gosetsu, but if I may ask, why is it that you keep your blade at the ready? I thought this personal matter of yours to be naught but a trifle, or am I mistaken? Well, I find the katana a superior tool for peeling persimmons. Speaking of which, I do believe my stomach begs for sustenance, if you will excuse me. Training. To help say the blasphemy, no doubt. Fitting that he should offer me counsel, yet refuse to heed it in kind. He is not the warrior he once was, but he is wise, our obstinate friend. If I am to be perfectly honest, it frightens me to recall it, the moment it all came crashing down. We'd taken Doma Council. Victory was ours, but then we looked out and saw the banners of the 12th Legion marching towards us, the Crown Prince at the fore. No sooner had Gosetsu and I escaped than we received word that Xenos had slain my father. I remember how the fight went out of Gosetsu in an instant, how he wept for his lord, while I felt the weight of the profound duty bear down upon my shoulders. Crushing, suffocating, the heat of my own breath, the chill of my clammy palms. But duty demanded I mastered my emotions. When all those around me, Gosetsu included, were consumed by anger and a thirst for vengeance, I had to be in control. Under my orders, we dispersed and fled to fight another day. This day I have not stopped to reflect on my father's death. How could I, devoted as I am to finding Doma's way forward? But now I must, and so, having taken you into my confidence, would you see this through with me to journey's end? The keepsake I would offer up for the funeral is hidden in a place not easily reached. We will have to fly there, I'm afraid, but worry not. My yawl will ferry us. In just a moment. The place we seek is Plum Spring in the mountains, shall we? So pretty. My parents would bring me here for Hanami as a child. Its beauty and serenity was such that I could forget the realities of the occupation. Indeed, some of my fondest memories of family are here, which is precisely why I chose this place to conceal a singular gift my father bequeathed to me as a child. I see. Charming, is it not? The great auspice Kitian Dashang, said to reside somewhere along the Dairyu chain. Dairyu chain, probably. In those days, anyone and everyone knew the tales of his prowess. Reckless boy that I was, I once even tried to seek him out, hoping he might help us. I buried it here shortly after my coming-of-age ceremony. It seemed a fitting place to both part with my childhood and offer a final goodbye to my mother. More of a keepsake of mine than his, to be sure, but he was never a man of worldly possessions. Still, I suspect he will allow himself a rare smile if he were to see it again after all these years. And that is precisely how I wish to bid him a farewell. With a smile. It should go without saying I would prefer it not become known that I kept this doll here. Wouldn't want the children to grow jealous now, would we? And with that, I believe it is time we return to the Enclave. Wong, yeah. There are yet more villages to visit and offerings to collect, but preparations are proceeding apace. Soon the people will have one less cause to be tempted down the path of despair. Of course, there still remains the problem of the blasphemy. The former conscripts will remain at the Qiankan until it has been dealt with. We'll slay the beast in due time, but before that, I would be honored if you were present for the funeral rites. Pray speak with Yugiri when you next visit the Enclave, and she will tell you more of the proceedings. As ever, your timing is impeccable. We but moments ago completed preparations for the funeral. I will inform Lord Hien of your arrival. You're here. Excellent. The blasphemy continues to shun our settlements, and I mean to make the most of the time its absence affords us. I assume you are planning to take part in the ceremony? Glad to hear it. Unfortunately, Gosetsu will not be joining us today. He's injured himself, as I knew he would with his secret training, and now grumbles from the confines of his bed. But he will be fine in due course. We may worry over his convalescence after the funeral. Freaking Gosetsu. You're an old man now, Gosetsu. You really can't do this shit anymore. Not just that, an old man who was shot multiple times was crushed by a building yet somehow survived. Time to go to retirement, exactly. Stop swinging that sword around, you belong in a retirement home. Video game logic. Here it is. The villagers should arrive ere long, then we may begin. Ian, I apologize, my lord, for my past transgressions. I yearned to believe my daughter was a Kami reborn, but you were right, she is a monster. Words can ill express my shame for advocating the conscripts be sacrificed to appease the dead. Nay, this ceremony shall serve far, far better, and so as a humble citizen of Doma I offer my deepest gratitude, and beg for your forgiveness. I would make an offering on behalf of my husband and son, as well as my dear stepdaughter Minato. I throw myself on your mercy, Lord Hien. Allow them a place within the mausoleum, that their spirits may know peace. Oh, what happened here? So, during the last quest turn, we were going around collecting keepsakes from villagers, because what Hien's gonna do is hold like a public mass funeral for everyone who died as conscripts, but there's no bodies to inter. And she's come to the ceremony site and is saying she's like apologizing for what she did, and now she wants to offer keepsakes for her family as well. There is no need to beg forgiveness, Kizé. Please rise. Whoa. She will come for you. By the Kami, she gave her life to draw out the blasphemy? I figured this might be happening, because this literally is the, like, the, you know. Nice. Go, go, go. The fuck? Never mind. Oh, you better not kill me here. Ooh. This isn't good. Okay, figures that there would be something like that going on. Apologies for my untimely arrival, my lord. Oh, he's using Conjuring? Gosetsu, what is that staff? Pilgrimage proved a most enlightening experience, and is where I chanced to discover the benefits of ascetic training. I may no longer be fit to wield a blade, my lord, but Shugendo affords me another way to turn the tide of battle. He became a... yeah. He became a healer. Stubborn as ever. I shall have to thank you later. Yep. Let us put an end to this. Oh, and now it's playing the Stormblood music. Much more fitting, I suppose. Fuck. I didn't see the interrupt. I'm really not used to doing that sort of thing. Yay, I actually did the interruption. Did it! Sever to the bitter end, but she is still a daughter of Doma. She will have a proper burial, and her family's belongings enshrined with the others. The doggo! I have gathered you here today not to speak of the future, but to reflect on the past, to pay respect to loved ones fallen in the field of battle. In honor of their sacrifices, these sons and daughters of Doma shall be given a place here, at the Swallow's Compass. Though they no longer walk with us in life, they walk with us in spirit. Pray never forget their bravery, that the memories of their legacy give you comfort and strength. Moroya Motokawa, the aspiring painter. He was a man who saw beauty in all things, and one day would have become a renowned artist in Kugane. Motozo Jito, the warrior in training. He longed to become a samurai like his father and bring honor to his family. Suzushiro Kotakumi, the carpenter. A man wholly dedicated to his craft, who hoped to one day pass on his talents to his two loving children. And lastly, Minato Shihokage and her stepmother Kisei. Theirs was once a happiness to be envied. Minato's parents were murdered by Imperial soldiers, and after being rescued by the Confederacy, Minato was given into the care of the village of Asari. Though she arrived with a broken heart, it was soon mended by the man who would become her husband, the son of Kisei, who herself had been born to Asari on winds of tragedy. Sorry, my brother was asking me something. Kisei was a child of the deep, born in Suino Sato. For her gifts she was exiled, but with her courage and tenacity she found a new home on the shores of the Ruby Sea. She was a devoted wife and mother, and though not related by blood, she loved Minato as if she were their own. That is how she lived, and how they all lived, and how they should be remembered. Let your heart swell not with sorrow, but with joy for their memory. Know that proof of their mark left on this world shall remain here, enshrined within the swallow's compass for all eternity. Let us still our voices, and in silence pray for their souls, that they may share in the peace we have found. Sorry, this is a bit of a pause there. I didn't mean to break the flow of that, but you know. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting battle with a blasphemy as a prelude to the ceremony. At least now we may breathe easy, if only for a short while. The villagers have all returned home, and I believe it is time we did the same. We've held a national funeral and slain a blasphemy besides. A rather productive day, would you not agree? The former conscripts will be elated to finally return home. Speaking of returns, I think I speak for all of us when I say your appearance at Swallow's Compass came nothing of something of a shock. What of your injuries from training? Quite painful for some time, I assure you. Despite my best efforts to reclaim my former skills, my back and my hips vigorously protested. I planned to sleep that I might be well rested for the morrow's hunt, but a voice called out to me. I was needed, and so I grabbed my cane and ran as quickly as my ailing body would allow. The cane suits you, Gosetsu, but your mastery of healing magics was a sight to behold, almost as surprising as your resurrection following the fall of Doma Castle. I am still but a novice in dire need of training. 'Tis my hope that I will be able to refine my ascetic arts during my next pilgrimage. So you are leaving then? Worry not, Lord Hien. Should you find yourself in dire straits one more, I shall fly to your side. Not as a samurai, perhaps, but I will nonetheless give our enemies cause to tremble. And with that, I take my leave. And he's gone. No, come back. He's this awkward smile. Though it may be years, if not decades, until we truly make peace with our past, we have turned a corner and begun to heal. We may look to the future unburdened by grief ignored and sadness denied. The path ahead is ever fraught with peril, but we shall walk it with eyes unclouded, and with pride. You have done so much for us, for Doma. I wish there was more I could do for you. If I may ask one last favor before you leave, please inform our representative at Radzat-Han that the blasphemy has been vanquished, and the people of Doma are safe. With any luck, our experiences here will prove useful to the other nations that yet grapple with these beasts. Sorry, you were the last. Time to find out if there is a final quest that appears after finishing all of them. The V-Bucks. Master Emil, you are returned. What word from Doma? Blasphemy is no more? That is wonderful news. I must inform the other delegates at once. Thank you again for answering our summons. If another threat should rear its dastardly head, I pray we can count on your assistance again. Nope. There is none. There isn't a unifier quest like there was in Shadowbringers. Or if there is, it hasn't been introduced yet. Less content, sad. Given what happened in Shadowbringers, it makes sense. Right. Question to you. Shall I call it here, or shall I swap over to Genshin on stream? Maybe it's in Charlian? Actually, yeah, let's teleport to Charlian just to make sure. Up to you. Nope, nothing new here, it's just the role quests over there, or the, like, the Studium deliveries, rather. So, yeah, we're done. Actually, although, yes, I put Genshin in the title, because that was my plan, initially. Something came up just now that I think might make it appropriate for me to take a quick break. I will go into a Discord server to stream Genshin if you know. Should be fine. Alright. Yeah, so I think I'll end the stream here, and then when I'm done dealing with the thing, I will go into the... You know what server I'm talking about, hun. Anyway. I will see you all later. Thanks everyone for joining today. I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day. Have a nice weekend. I will see you all on Sunday. Take care now. Bye-bye.